give a huge Chicago welcome to Pam Torgerson.
Well, I am Pam Torgerson, and I am from North Dakota. If you haven't been to our great state, most people just go there traveling through on Highway I-94 because it's very straight and it's very well maintained, and you just zip right through because there's no trees, there's no mountains, there's lots of wheat fields. So I come from the breadbasket of the Midwest, and I'm gluten intolerant. So that's a great match. Talking about restaurant management, talking about human resource management to students who are 18 and 19 years old, who, if you've been to school, any of you, sometimes you can understand how the audience would maybe not listen as well because they don't understand the importance of it. I'll say it politely that way. But when I became a Market America distributor and I stood in front of the room, I could not reward you with A's or B's or C's. If you listened, I got to give you $300 checks and $50 gross retail profit on one product moving across the table, a kit. And I got to reward you with money. And there was an amazing paradigm shift in the learning curve when all of a sudden the reward wasn't an A, B, or C, it's money. And this morning I'd like to talk to you about wherever it is you'd like to be. You gave up this beautiful Saturday morning where you could have been anywhere, probably somewhere where maybe it wasn't the thing you told the person next to you. But in order to get to where you want to be, you came here to learn. And my goal today is to help give you some of the pieces of the puzzle to get there. I want to be able to give you the ability to take time for your family. This is my family. This is AJ, my oldest. Luke, my middle child. You get to see him a little later. He's a Concord Entertainment artist. He's going to have his music video. We're going to play after lunch, so you got to make sure you come back right after lunch so you get to see him. Some of you know him. And then there's my beautiful baby daughter graduating from high school. And this picture is actually the day that the epic flood of the Missouri River hit Bismark, North Dakota, and put my house in the middle of the river for 3 months. The graduation party that we were supposed to have actually had to be moved over to the school, along with all of our furniture, all of our goods. We had to tear out all the carpet in our house, tear out the cabinets, because they told us that there was going to be 6 feet of water in our living room for 3 months. Now you have to understand, you can't even see water from my house. I don't live on the riverfront. I don't have the ocean view. That flood was so epic, they have never since seen a flood like that, and they hope never to see one again. It was an error on the part of several engineers who were managing several dams, and they had held back too much water, thinking that was good for boating and recreation. And then when they had massive snows in Montana, and then 10 inches of rain in Billings, Montana, which is usually what they have in a whole year, they had in 1 week. All of a sudden somebody said, oops. And that oops displaced me for 3 months out of my home. But I want to tell you that that pain and that fear of losing my home, my husband's a home builder, so it was our dream home, caused me to win the President's Challenge. Because instead of sitting down and crying in my soup, I said, somebody's got to have the money to put that house back together. And my life savings was in that house. And you learn in a blink of an eye what's really important to you. Because what was really important to me was these 3 people were safe. Because at the same time, a good friend of mine, Jim Winkler, was losing what was really important to him. And that really brought it home to me about where do I want to be? And who do I want to take care of? And what's really important, where to spend my time. And that house had consumed a lot of my time and energy. And the wonderful thing was when I boxed it all up and put it in 8 of my friends' garages, it freed me. It freed me to no longer have to clean the toilets, no longer have to make beds. And I love to be hospitable. You'll find out through this. I love to have people at my home and to take care of them and to stay at my house. But it freed me from my gift of hospitality. And it made me move out of my comfort zone. And I began to travel and speak in other places. And when you travel and speak in other places, guess what happens? You recruit people in those other places too, because they ask you about, what do you do? And all of a sudden, my distributorship grew massively. So I want to tell you, I know that every one of you who are sitting in this chair today, you have trials in your life. If you're not just coming out of one, you're just getting ready to go back into one. Or you're maybe in the middle of one. And I want to embrace you today, and I want to tell you, I'd like to give you some pieces of the puzzle to turn that pain around into something wonderful for your life. Because you can't stop the things that happen in life sometimes. I couldn't stand out there and stop that Missouri River. 150,000 cubic feet per second boiling over the dam. But what I could do was take what I had, what was really important, and begin to build even bigger a legacy that would be able to care for us. And I know that money's not the most important thing in the world, because many people who have money are some of the most unhappy people I know, because we have the oil boom going on in North Dakota. Have you heard about it? That black gold up there is taking dirt poor farmers and making them multimillionaires. And some of them are the most unhappy people I've ever known, because they didn't really work for it. It just ended up in their lap. And they don't know what to do with it. But I'd like to tell you today, it's really not about the money. That's just a tool. It's about, I want to reach inside and help you clarify what's really important for you. And I'd like to help you take Market America as a vehicle to get you where you want to be. To have it enhance your life so you can treasure the things that are important to you. Because it isn't the money. It's really about where your heartstrings are at. So if you'll let me do that. Time passes way too fast. That picture up there, seems like that was just yesterday. And that little baby girl that's leaning on my husband's shoulder, she's now learning to be a kindergarten teacher. And that little boy, the oldest boy, AJ, he's the reason I started this business. Because he went off his dream from that picture on when we went to visit the Air Force Academy in Colorado Springs. He turned to me and said, Mom, I'm going to go here someday. I want to be an Air Force Academy graduate. And my heart trembled. Because that's my little boy that I birthed and diapered and went to basketball games with and cared for and made sure he ate and made sure he slept. It's my oldest. Anybody got an oldest out there that you're a little possessive about? And all of a sudden he said, Mom, I want to go off and have somebody scream at me and yell at me and to sleep deprive me and harass me because I want to become this Air Force person. Now, you have to understand, I do come from a military family. My husband was a Marine, and his father before him was a Marine. But that's really somebody else's job to do that. I believe in the military, but when you come home and take my firstborn, I wasn't quite ready for that, especially at that age. And so I just kept thinking, maybe it's because I don't make enough money. He wants to get a great education. He's a bright student. He's valedictorian, it turned out. And I thought, he needs a chance to go to Harvard, but I can't afford it. And so I said, how can I afford that? And so I just kept looking. I was very entrepreneurial. I owned a candy bouquet store. I worked part-time for Nabisco at one time. I had that other hat on. I told you this the other night, Thursday. I was one of the bad guys. You couldn't get further away from health and nutrition than where I was. When I became a college professor, after my kids went to school and I had more time, I taught people how to open McDonald's, Burger King, Taco John's, fast food restaurants, because that's where the money was at. That's what I was trained to teach. I'd been in the restaurant industry in some capacity or another for more than my adult life, even as a child. And so I went from being there. So some of you feel like, I know on Thursday night some of you came up to me and said, I want your knowledge. And you know what? I got that knowledge from the training system of Market America. Because before, I never even had taken a multivitamin. And after, I'm the healthiest I've ever been in my entire life. And I stand before you at 51 having more energy than I did when I was a teenager. And I want you to know that every single person that I have ever come into contact with the business Market America, they are better for it. Even if they never became a distributor, or maybe they became a distributor like one of my girlfriends. She was 48 years old. She opened up her distributorship. She was trying to get her PhD. And all of a sudden, she got pregnant for the first time in her life, and she got laid off from her job. She came to me and she said, Pam, I can't do this right now. And I said, I understand. But you know what? Even though at that point, Market America wasn't the right timing for her. We helped her with her pregnancy, with the prenatal multivitamin. We helped her to set her goals, to understand this massive change of life. And she was better off for us having become friends and being a part of each other's life. So you should never, ever be afraid to tell someone about the awesome tools we have in our toolbox to provide for people to change their lives. I bring my past college students to our Basic 5 training. I say, I don't care if you ever open up a Market America business, you need this information. You need this information to get your life on track, because otherwise 5 years from now, you're going to be in a worse place than you are right now. And once they come to that Basic 5 business training, they leave there going, I want more. Because we have an awesome educational system. I'm going to tell you a big secret right now. As a college professor for 10 years teaching restaurant management and business, I stole information from Market America and taught it in my college class. You literally could get an MBA from Market America. You just won't have a certificate.
That's right.
And you won't have the debt. You're going to get to earn what you learn. Isn't that great?